Profit. It's the thing that most business owners covet, right? And the simple formula for calculating profit is revenue minus expenses equals profit. But ultimately, what we're going to talk about today is revenue. And more specifically, we're going to be talking about how positioning can be used in order to drive your revenue through the roof. My name is Edward Collins, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. For the past 2.5 decades, I've been building and scaling my own businesses up to and through 6 and 7 figures, and I've been helping business owners just like you to do the exact same thing. But that's enough about me. Let's jump right into something that could change your life. Now, when it comes to positioning, there's probably a lot of different things that may be running through your mind when I say the word. And ultimately, when it comes to products and revenue, the reality is there's two general concepts when it comes to positioning that I want to share with you. The first has to do with physical products and where you physically position those products within a physical retail establishment. So for those businesses that are selling goods and selling those goods to consumers in a physical location, where you position that particular product matters. And there's really two main things that should drive your positioning decisions. One is, what is the profit margin of that particular product? And two, what is the situation that's motivating that consumer to come to your establishment in order to buy it? Issues related to profit margin and motivation are married concepts that you as the business owner must make sure that you keep in mind. For instance, if you have a particular product that is specifically high in margin, you want to make sure that you're positioning those products an easy view of any customer that's coming in the door, and possibly even positioning them in multiple locations throughout the store, because ultimately those are the products you want flying off the shelf because they directly impact the bottom line. But let's say you have products that aren't necessarily high profit margin products. You can still benefit by understanding motivation in the mind of the consumer that's coming in. If a consumer is specifically motivated to come to your establishment for a particular product, you can benefit from that motivation by positioning around that product complementary products to it that have relatively low profit margins so that you can maximize the average order value of the person who's coming into your store. Because again, ultimately at the end of the day, it's how much dollars can you bring in for value exchanged with that consumer every time they come in the store. Now it's time to shift gears a little bit. And what we're going to talk about is positioning, but positioning really for not necessarily physical products. Really what I'm talking about is products or services that are going to be sold to a consumer in a visual way, meaning they're going to interact with that particular product through a website or through a brochure or through some other means that they're visually interacting with that particular product for its sale. Let's use the example of restaurant, for instance. Human eye, when it's looking at a menu, tends to start by looking in the top right-hand corner of that menu. Then the eye generally moves to the left, then down the menu, and then over to the right and up again. And if you position your particular products on the menu in such a way that you're positioning the products that give you the highest margin on the top right-hand corner of the menu, you tend to sell more of those products to the consumer. So just understanding the psychology of how consumers interact with information, whether that's visual information or auditory information, understanding how they interact with that information and becoming a psychologist, if you will, when it comes to the marketing aspect of products and services, that can make a big difference in your bottom line. One of the ways you can also do this is just study how your competitors are actually positioning their products for sale online or on a menu or in any other type of physical means where they're perceiving that information through their eyes or through their ears. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. All you need to do is find things that are working and just model that behavior. So there you have it. Positioning can be that thing which drives revenue up in your business, regardless of whether you're a retail shop or an online store. Ultimately, at the end of the day, whether it's a product or a service, how you position that product or service to your customer makes a difference. And speaking of positioning, I'm going to put something over here on the right-hand side of the screen because I know you're not going to want to miss it. I wish you well in your journey. Bye for now.